What's up, people? Another episode of Just for Sports. Jumoke Davis here with you. We're going to get into the Eastern and Western Conference Finals of the NBA playoffs. I'm going to make my gut check predictions on both series. We're going to talk about my disappointment in horse racing and why sovereignty should not be better than journalism. We'll talk some National Football League, the chance for players, which actually I was thinking about after the last Olympics. If football would ever become an Olympic sport, and it is, and the NFL has a play in it, and I am excited about it. And we will talk about that as well. Some other football topics that we will get to. In Major League Baseball, the stunning news for Major League Baseball for me this weekend. Boy, I was so disappointed. But first, we're going to start with the NBA. And there is no doubt that we are at a new plateau, new level as we look at the what's next for the NBA. And when I think of what's next, I am referring to who is next. We've got the Oklahoma City Thunder against the Minnesota Timberwolves and the New York Knicks against the Indiana Pacers. Now I'm going to start with the Western Conference because as I'm recording this, the Western Conference is going to get underway tonight. First thing on my mind is thinking about the young stars. We've got Anthony Edwards against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and that's just the headliners. On both teams, we've got young players that are contributing, that are playing at a much higher level than not so much what we didn't expect, but just that it is exciting to see. That's what I'm referring to. It's exciting to see. Chet Holmgren playing well for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Jalen Williams. These players are rising to the occasion. And really, in many ways, now granted, when you think about Golden State Warriors, the fact that Steph Curry was hurt played a big role in it. But Minnesota stepped up. In Game 7, I thought for sure that it was going to be Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray playing a key role in showing the young Oklahoma City Thunder players, hey, you aren't there yet. You haven't been where we've been. But I was surprised that they didn't just beat the Denver Nuggets. Oklahoma City crushed them. Now, look, yes, we have to accept the fact that one of the better players for Oklahoma City was not there. And that is truly unfortunate that they were playing without not just a, how should I say it, one of the better players overall for the Denver Nuggets. But we're talking about somebody who, if I was saying to you at the start of the season, if we had said this player is the key player for the Denver Nuggets, you would say Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray. And realistically, there is no way in anybody's mind that the player you would think of was Aaron Gordon, that he was the key. But what surprised me in Game 7 is how poorly the Denver Nuggets played. Now, I know there's a part of you that probably could say, well, especially if you're a Denver Nuggets fan, that, there was a lot going on, right? Michael Malone was fired 3 games towards the end of the season with 3 games left in the season. Calvin Booth was gone as the general manager. It was chaos. And the fact that they got to the semifinals should be enough. And it was an injury to Aaron Gordon that changed it. But I still didn't expect for the Denver Nuggets to play as poorly as they did in Game 7. But then as I thought about it more and more, it's almost unfair to say that it was like, no. What you saw in the Oklahoma City Thunder was a team that in some ways had grown up. They had grown up. They were the better team. They were the best team in the NBA all season. And when I thought about it, as I had to come to grips with the fact that I said it was going to be the Clippers in the NBA Finals. Well, what made a difference? Is that these young players don't seem to be scared of the old guard. It's not a lack of respect for the older players. It's that youth is showing out. And that's what you saw in the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's what I saw. And now you've got the Oklahoma City Thunder playing against the upstart Minnesota Timberwolves, but they've got some veteran presence in Julius Randle, who seems, and Dante Vincenzo, but Julius Randle seemed to be a different player. There's something unique about this trade that I am excited to see. If I'm getting ahead of myself, I kind of want to see New York versus Minnesota in the finals. So you can see that trade that happened, Karl Anthony Towns to the Knicks, Julius Randle and DiVincenzo to Minnesota. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. You've got some veteran presence in Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert that I think cannot be discounted in why Minnesota is where they are. And Mike Conley. Let me not forget about Mike Conley. Minnesota's been there before. This is the Oklahoma City Thunder's first opportunity to say, well, wait a minute. We're here to stay. SGA will probably be NBA's MVP, his first trophy. And maybe you've got Anthony Edwards saying, hold up, you want to give him the MVP, but I'm an MVP too. And I think that will play into what happens in this series. But Oklahoma City, they've got a defense. Maybe the best defense, the stingiest defense, as they're saying, in all of the National Basketball Association. And that might be what you think of as to why Oklahoma City Thunder will win. There were some great games during the regular season between these two teams. And Oklahoma City is the best. They are. But my gut is going with Minnesota. I think they have the right balance of the young players who can get it done, but they also have the older veterans. And I think that will play a role in why I think you will see Minnesota advance. That's my gut check pick. Jalen Clark. Jaden McDaniels on defense and offense, playing on both ends. That's where Naz Reid will come into play. That's what I see in Minnesota that's just as hungry as Oklahoma City. But I think the vets will win out in that series. I do. Pacers-Knicks. That's a tougher one to call for me. And the reason why it's tougher for me is I think you've got a great support system and great superstars on both sides. On the Pacers, you've got the Olympic gold medal champion in Tyrese Halliburton, playing with Pascal Siakam, Nembhard, Aaron Smith, Miles Turner. I like that lineup. They are a plus 11.9 in the regular season, plus 22.9 net rating. In the playoffs, there's something about this team. They dig down deep, they get it done. And they showed against the Cavs that they can do that, and they hit some big buckets. I know that the Cavs had injuries, and that's unfortunate. And I'll get to the Cavs, maybe not this episode, but just a little sprinkling. I think they may be in the running for somebody in Milwaukee that's asking for a trade. You've got the second best team in the Eastern Conference in Cleveland Cavaliers that have some young players that maybe they could say, hey, you want this for Giannis? You could have it. And Giannis and Donovan Mitchell, woo, that'd be a pretty good combination. But it's just something about this Pacers team that they're not going to back down. And they're going to be tough. And I like that about the Pacers. And they've been here before. Although they got eliminated by the Boston Celtics in last year's Eastern Conference Finals. And now you've got the Knicks. Mikal Bridges, I can't say enough about his defense at the end of, game 2 and 3 against the Celtics. And they know how to come back too. Down 20 in 2 of the games to the Celtics. Down 14 in the other. They fought their way back. And they blew out Boston in the Game 6 finale. They showed that they belong. And they have arguably the best player in the playoffs in Jalen Brunson. His numbers are up there with Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan as far as fourth quarter points. He is the guy. It doesn't matter how good or bad he was playing in the first 3 quarters, and he wasn't playing bad, but he wasn't great. It's Jalen Brunson. As he goes in the fourth quarter, so go the Knicks. Karl Anthony Towns, one of the reasons why I think they trade him from Minnesota, he gets into foul trouble. And he's got to avoid that in this series if the Knicks expect to win. But here's the crazy thing you want to know about this series. Last time the Knicks and Pacers played in the playoffs, this magnitude, Tom Thibodeau, the head coach for the Knicks, was an assistant coach on the Knicks. Jalen Brunson's dad was playing on the Knicks then. It was back when Jeff Van Gundy was the head coach. This was a knockdown, drag-out brawl between these two teams. And you know that there's no doubt that the Knicks and Pacers, some of that's going to boil up. Because I'm envious of the Knicks bringing out all of the former players to watch the games. You know you're going to get Reggie Miller on the Pacers side at the games. I mean, he killed the Knicks in 8 seconds. Bam, bam, bam. Pacers win. This is going to be one of the best series to watch, and I think it'll go 7. Now, I didn't say this, but I think that the Timberwolves Oklahoma City series will go 6. Timberwolves win it at home in Game 6. But I think this series will go 7. I do. I really do. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting to see these teams, and I hope that the ratings go up. Now, I will say, Knicks fans, don't throw trash at a Pacers player. That was deplorable. You're better than that, New York. Right? That's not what you need to be doing. And now you got, I don't remember his name, but the Pacers fans now being flown to Indianapolis for the game. right? Just, hey, if you win, you win. You don't have to be throwing trash at them. And I don't even want to, just go watch the video if you want to see it. But the Knicks have shown that they will always fight till the end as well. And I think that's a good quality. And I think that'll make for a great, great, great series. And the other thing is, I hope all four teams, I hope they're just healthy. I don't want to see any more injuries that destroy the drama. Let's just have head-to-head. Everybody's ready to go. And we're going to get some good games. And that's what I hope will happen. Now, my gut is telling me Pacers will win this series. That's what I think. I think that they have just as much moxie as New York. And the Knicks always start down, and come back. And I think that the Pacers, they have had their share of deficits too. But I think the Pacers are the better all-around team. And I think that they will win in 7. And that's my gut check pick. That's what I'm going with. All right. Next thing we're talking about. And by the way, I think that Dallas will be a sleeper now that they have the number 1 pick to win the NBA championship next year. Kyrie, Anthony Davis, and Cooper Flag. Woo! That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. 2 things we'll talk about National Football League. First one, Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy got his money. He got his money, what, $265 million contract, $181 million guaranteed. I'm not hating on him. Not in one bit. But I also think that he was on a good team when he got there, right? He was Mr. Irrelevant. The team was already a playoff team. And he succeeded in that system. He wasn't like Joe Burrow, who went to a bad team, right? That makes a difference. He's not like Cam Ward from this draft. That makes a difference. And I think that I am not Josh Allen either, right? I am a little, well, pleased isn't the right word. It's good. It's good that he didn't ask for, I want to be the highest paid quarterback. Because come on. You shouldn't be. But he's got a lot of pressure now. Because you got the money. And in order for you to get the money, the Niners had to jettison some of their best players. Brandon Ayuk wanted a trade. They may have to do that. They got rid of Deebo Samuel. You know, Brock did not have a great end to 2024. The Niners didn't have a great end to 2024. And now here you are. You can say if you're a Niners fan, they kind of got a bargain to an extent. But they traded away a lot of talent. And if the Niners don't play well, you know what's going to happen? Head coach is going to go first. Maybe GM. And you're going to be stuck with Mr. Irrelevant. And you're going to say, well, wait, hold up. What? I thought they were a better team. That's my worry for the 49ers. And I got no dog in the fight, right? Do I care about the 49ers? No, I don't. They win. All right. But if there is cause for concern, that would be it to me. Is that maybe they really just don't have the talent. They signed Fred Warner to an extension. What's going to happen on offense? Do they have the kind of roster that you can say, okay, they're going to win, right? Let's look at their depth chart. We're looking at their depth chart. Christian McCaffrey, still got a running back. That's good. Brandon Ayuk, all right, but he doesn't really want to be there. Can Jawan Jennings step up? Maybe. You re-sign George Kittle. That's some money there. They've got, they re-signed Fred Warner. They've got Nick Bosa. Let's see if maybe they still have the nucleus to succeed. And that's where I think the pressure is going to be on Brock Purdy after the poor showing in the playoffs last season. It's going to be interesting. And something to keep your eye on. Best news of the day. Well, second best news. I don't want to get into the tush push. I'm going to wait until the vote is in before we go into it. I know that we got Washington Commanders, Luvu saying, no, we don't want the tush push. It's a rugby play. It's cheap points. Let's see what happens with the vote. I am happy that the NFL has okayed players to play flag football in the Olympics. That is the most exciting news. It also is a trend in my mind that if we're thinking about, see, I'm wearing my Team USA shirt. Oh, Tokyo 2020. Collected a lot of 2020 sporting events. And Roger Goodell saying, quote, it's an incredible honor for any athlete to represent their country in the Olympics, which is the pinnacle of global sport. I know firsthand that the inclusion of flag football in the Olympics has sparked a tremendous amount of excitement among NFL players interested in a chance to compete for their country on the world stage. We are thrilled that they will now have that chance, end quote. And that's great news. It's interesting to read some of the things that they're still working out. The flag football resolution has some rules. Permission for any player under NFL contract to participate in the tryouts. They got to have that. A limit of one player per NFL team on each national team participating, allowing in addition a team's designated international player to play for his home country. A purchase of league-wide insurance. Got to have that. Salary cap credit for any player who is injured. An expectation that Olympic flag football teams will establish medical staffs and field surfaces that comply with NFL minimum standards, and a schedule does not unreasonably conflict with an NFL player's league and club commitments. Now, the Summer Olympics will be in 2028, July 14th to July 30th. So that's kind of like right at the start of training camp. I imagine players will get an exemption. They should be, because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. When you think of the Olympics every 4 years, there's a good chance that these players, this is their only chance to get a shot to play in the Olympics. Now, you could say, well, if you're retired in that by the time we get to 2032 and you can still try out, okay, maybe, because they got to fill that roster. Julius Jefferson was part of the press conference saying how excited he is to be possibly playing. And that's great. That's wonderful. I am excited for these players to get the opportunity to possibly represent their country, get a gold medal, and play some football. That makes me want to get tickets to the games. I want to see the first ever NFL players playing in the Olympics. And it's going to be fun. So, keep your eye out for where the games will be held, when you can get your tickets, and witness history. And you can no longer call it the No Fun League, because they're letting these players have fun. They're getting the opportunity to play flag football. And this is trending. Flag football. What are we talking about? 2056, where there will no longer be tackle football? Maybe in like the 2040s. Maybe. It'll only be flag football. Only be flag football. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't. You might, but I don't. Baseball. What can I say about the Orioles? This is heartbreaking to see them, as I'm recording this, 16 games under 500. I never thought this is where they would be. I just never thought. And it's unfortunate to have to fire the manager. And the thing for me is, was it right for Brandon Hyde to go? And the reason I say I don't know about that is because it wasn't just on him. You know that. You have a general manager who didn't spend. And I know for the Orioles players, there are reports coming out that the players were heartbroken, that Brandon Hyde had to be fired. Gunnar Henderson on MLB.com, quote, "He's put me in a lot of great positions to succeed, and I can't thank him enough for everything he's done. I hate it for him and his family." I don't like it. The front office should have also thought about what they need to do to put the Orioles in the right position to win. And it's tough because talking to some family and friends that are also Orioles fans, saying that, well, maybe the hitting coach should have gone. Maybe. I mean, maybe. That's tough. Mike Elias, I don't know if he's done enough this season to help Brandon Hyde and the Orioles succeed. They needed more pitching, good pitching. And to see them at 15-31, outside of Colorado, they have the worst run differential. Well, worst run differential in the American League, but second worst in baseball. Can they turn it around? I mean, the crazy thing is I still got to remember the Nationals had a record very similar before they somehow turned it around and won the World Series. I don't know if the Orioles, having lost 8 of their last 10, lost 7 in a row, can turn it around like that. But I know they had to shake it up. They had to shake it up. But man, that hurts. That hurts. I'll still keep rooting for the Orioles and my Nationals. I can root for both. Nationals 21-27. That's not great, but better than I thought they would be this season. Better than I thought they would be this season. All right, what I thought would be better this weekend was the Preakness. And the reason it was not is because of the lack of respect for the Triple Crown. Kentucky Derby winner, Sovereignty, with trainer Bill Mott saying he's not going to participate in the Preakness. And I talked about this before, but the thing is, to me, it destroyed the Preakness. Okay, journalism won. It was a great comeback. It was a great race. It was a great race. But come on, man. The Preakness would have been better if Sovereignty was in it. If Bill Mott respected the Triple Crown. It was a thrilling race. There's no doubt about that. I will give you that it was exciting. Very exciting. But it's just no good. And until, whether it's the trainers, the owners, the jockeys, the horses, are given enough time in between races. I mean, I didn't know much about this, so I was listening to and reading from different people who are respected in the horse racing community about why they don't want to move Pimlico, the Belmont, and the Preakness, and Kentucky Derby, and that maybe they're stuck where they are. But I saw golf change their schedule to help golf. Maybe it's time for horse racing to look at that saying, hey, we got to change up our schedule. Because we need eyeballs on horse racing. We need horses competing for the Triple Crown. You can't turn up your nose at the Triple Crown at wanting to make history. Come on. You should be better than that. You should rise above it. Who am I to say that, right? That's just sad. And now let's hope that going into next year, because obviously, you know, is anybody going to pay attention to the Belmont 3 weeks from now? I guess so, if you want to see journalism get 2 of the 3. I'd like to think if journalism had won the Kentucky Derby, it still would have competed and tried to go for the Triple Crown. Some people joked about Sovereignty over journalism in the Kentucky Derby. Isn't that timing as we think of actual news? And what's wrong with that? We want journalism to win. And I'm going to be rooting for journalism moving forward. That'll do it for Just for Sport. I hope you enjoy the Eastern and Western Conference Finals in the NBA. Whatever baseball team you're rooting for, hockey, I'm rooting for Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers against the 3 teams where, I mean, was there ever thought of hockey in Phoenix, in Carolina, in Dallas? No. Excuse me, Dallas, Florida, and Carolina. No. And so I'm kind of rooting for Edmonton Oilers to hoist the cup now that my Caps are done. So sad. So sad. That'll do it for Just for Sport. I'm Jumoke Davis. Ciao for now.